All right, this video is gonna be kind of a discussion, and just kind of something I've been like bouncing around in my head. Back in the day, or like once upon a time, at one point, I thought about actually just making a corporation for the channel and the viewers, and just kind of like operating maybe faction warfare, or just doing random other stuff. But then I thought, yeah, well, no, I don't really want to like uproot people into a channel corporation for that. And then that kind of got me thinking in terms of like what would be the biggest like wake or the biggest wake you could put through the meta in Eve? And obviously, like anything in Eve is very numbers based. The more people you have on a certain like task or whatever, that's kind of like everything scales with more people. And that kind of got me thinking about this interesting idea. And I definitely want to know your guys' thoughts. But like, imagine like, are there actually alliances that do not care about territory or Sov? And to kind of further emphasize what I'm kind of thinking here is it's like, for instance, let's say at the very beginning, imagine like, let's just say hypothetically, you had a group of people, like 1,000 people. And let's say like at the very beginning, it was just like, going into like, every week they would pick like a faction warfare low tech system, and they all would just move into that system for a week and just, you know, just make it, just make as much trouble as possible, right? And so like, not even like with the locals, but like, all these people would just move in. They'd be in different corporations. They'd be different alliances. There'd be no way to like kind of like, tell what was really going on. But like, let's say all those people were viewers of this channel, right? And like we would just move into a low sec system. We'd do faction warfare. We'd do low sec mining training for our our new members, or we would PvP with each other and we would gate camp, and and then the next week we just pick a different system and just all move to that system and just do that. And then like think about scaling that idea too, beyond like say you have a vast number of people, and we would just go to like nullsec and just mess with people's sov, and then it's like the opposing people are like, oh, who are these people? Are they trying to take territory? But then they realize it's like, oh, they're just messing with our sov, and then they're just leaving. And like, imagine how, I mean, to me, it feels like that would be super entertaining. I mean, I never really wanted to be in like a huge alliance that did necessarily like really high level war stuff and just doing the whole like, kind of risk uh kind of thing of like just controlling territory and blah blah blah. One of my biggest things was just to have like almost like almost like a rebellion, or like just a band of rebels, and it's just like this, you know, just a very mixed group of people that just all they want to do is just just kind of cause and just stir the pot. They just want to cause havoc and just kind of move around and do whatever. Um, the most recent iteration I had of this idea was actually like starting an alliance and just having a bunch of different corporations that really didn't give a really a crap about anything, because for the most part, if you want to just like go around Eve and get in vast numbers and just disrupt everything, obviously you have to be kind of like in an alliance of some sort in order to like have some sort of intel, or have some sort of like way for each of the corporations to tell like who's doing what. But even this idea that I have, even on a grander scale, doesn't even really kind of just pertain to like everybody being in an alliance. It's just like kind of like corporations banding with other corporations that they wouldn't necessarily work with, and everybody's just going to a certain location and just like a traveling chaotic roadshow, and just going into the NPC null and just messing with things, and going to low sec systems and just camping the gate and controlling the system, and just completely cutting off whatever. I know I'm still kind of like really, I mean, it's something I'm really interested in. Obviously, there's a lot of drawbacks in that, and like one of the kind of what got me thinking about it more recently was with factional warfare. The idea was like, well, I can just have everybody that watches the channel just come to a certain system that I'll be operating in for a week, and we all just PvP and gay camp and do whatever. But obviously, you're not going to have just Caldari aligned people coming there. You have Galante as well, which doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because you were after PvP and for the most part anyway. So, and then that kind of got me thinking, like, well, what happens if you have like 1,000 or several thousands of people who are all just traveling together and just making a bunch of chaos everywhere they go? I think that's kind of an interesting idea. I don't know if there's any alliances that just kind of operate like that, or just kind of go through the game, not caring about how traditional nullsec wars operate. They just go into null, hang out in a system, cause a bunch of problems, and then when they get bored, they move on, right? It seems I think that's probably one of the things I would love to actually get to the point to do is just to, I just want to cause chaos. I don't, and and it's like I never want to be part of that, like, that war machine, that, like, Imperium or fraternity. It's we're like this very structured, back and forth, right? That's just, I don't know, be mercenaries or something. And obviously mercenary groups, exist in EVE Online, the guns for hire and stuff like that. But I'm talking about something even beyond that, where it's like just just causing chaos for the sake of chaos. So I'm interested to know, like, your guys' opinions, or, what I mean. Obviously, there's drawbacks and everything. Like, one of the biggest concerns would be actually like, um, dealing with AWOXers and dealing with friendly fire. But I mean, we're already operating in such a level of chaos, and like that stuff's kind of just inherently going to be there, right? And so, I mean, there has to be some sort of structure to it. I think, even though I don't really want there to be a structure to it, yeah, I kind of just want to just pot stir. I don't know, but this has kind of been on my mind for the past couple of days, and I just really wanted to kind of like make this video to kind of get the discussion started and hear your guys' point of view on something like this. But I think ultimately what it would look like is I would ultimately like it to be like thousands and thousands of people across multiple different corporations, and whether or not if they're all part of the same alliance or not. I mean, obviously, if you're going around wreaking havoc and stuff, you probably don't want to be in already existing alliances because you're going to cause problems, So I think that the entire group would have to be in their own alliance, but just having an alliance that actually just doesn't give a shit about how things are actually done and just kind of just does whatever, and the unpredictable, chaotic. But anyway, it's it would be definitely something interesting to like kind of start establishing and kind of see where it goes. I think if I wanted to like try to test this, at the very base level and see how it goes, I think a good way to see how the chips would fall would be to like announce a low sec system, a factional warfare null sec system once a week, maybe on like Mondays, and then just be like, hey, for 7 days we're going to be operating in this constellation, so come out there, cause havoc, just let's mess up the neighborhood, and kind of see where it goes from there. But I don't want to turn this into too much of a ramble. I feel like I've given you enough information. It's still kind of all over the place in my head about like how this would even like come together or how this would operate. But I think the point of it for me is there's really no rules. It's just absolute chaotic, and in the sense. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this. Obviously, like, it probably isn't realistic, but it would be interesting if there was a force like that moved around and was unpredictable and stuff. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. So peace out.